moves forward at an exponential pace. We are impartial arbiters of knowledge. We are the navigators of disruption. We link our known to your unknown. We anticipate what it will take to thrive. Protecting your potential for growth in an exponential world. We are the trusted advisor.
Okay, welcome everybody to this episode of The Grind. We're going to be talking about sustainability versus profitability from a CEO's perspective. Why do we call the podcast The Grind? Because business is a grind, and we do it over a cup of coffee. So with that said, I'm going to welcome Andrew, the CEO of City Furniture, to the call. Andrew, welcome. How are you today?
Hey, Sean. Thanks for having me, man.
Great. Well, before we jump into the questions, I know we got a few for you. Do you mind just giving a little background about yourself and about City?
Sure. So my name is Andrew Koenig. I'm CEO of City Furniture. City Furniture is a 52-year-old home furnishings retailer, second generation. My father and my uncle started a little waterbed business that in 1971, a couple of hippies thinking waterbeds were cool and we're going to sell them. It was going to be a summer job. Fast forward, 1994 turned into City Furniture, and now we're the #1 home furnishings retailer in South Florida, and on expansion throughout Florida. And we got about 3,000 associates and tons of amazing customers, and got a really good business that we're real proud of.
Yeah, it's excellent. Thank you again for having us over to your Green Summit here a couple months ago. It was fantastic to hear everything that you all are doing and to see, what you're doing in the supply chain as well. And we'll kind of dive into that probably as we go through the questions. So great to have you today. I'll jump into the first question here. And you guys have been around for a long time, over 5 decades now. So what was the vision and the mission statement behind the driving force of getting to carbon neutral by 2040?
Yeah, so we decided to, we were working on a lot of green initiatives in the early 2000s, a lot of cool, interesting projects way before like really the green movement. I think really, you heard a lot about it, read a lot about it. But we decided, I think about 5 years ago, to brand our strategy, the 2040 Green Promise. And the reason why is because we wanted everybody to know that we're going after carbon neutrality. And we felt that was important because, number one, it's the right thing to do for our community, the earth. I got 3 kids that are 6, 7, and 8. And, in 20 years from now, when they're in the business world or when they can understand the world better, like I want them to know that City is an organization that is really trying to do what's right. So, that's the personal side. Obviously in the data, our customer research side, we saw that, being a green conscious organization kept kind of getting a little higher, a little more important, a little bit more important of why you shop with, home furnishings retailer. Another thing that we found, and this was kind of early days when we were doing some green projects, could be an opportunity for competitive advantage. If you actually, figured out how to do something, whether it's recycling and saving tons of money and, reducing your trash hauling expenses, whatever it may be. So there's an aspect of competitive advantage in here. And then last but not least, and sometimes, most important, is the financial savings. A lot of the green strategies we've adopted have helped us reduce tons of operating expenses, whether it's our fleet, whether it's our green buildings, recycling, like I said. So it can be a really great strategy to help reduce your overall operating expenses.
Yeah, I love hearing it from you directly because that's kind of our whole purpose of why we as a company started to focus on utility optimization and sustainability. And I don't think it's an either or when we talk about sustainability or profitability. You can definitely improve profitability while benefiting the planet and, for our kids and grandkids. I've got 4 grandkids, and I feel the same as you, as I'd like to see them have a good place to live in the future here, right?
Yeah, man.
So it's nice to hear that you're actually seeing that happen. So what kind of impact have you seen? You mentioned about the savings, specifically to the CNG fleet, and its impact on profitability.
Yeah. So, man, I think over 10 plus years ago, we started researching compressed natural gas and, learning about what was going on in Asia. I think several countries over there only use compressed natural gas for their heavy duty equipment. And just kept kind of exploring and learning what other countries do because they don't have access to diesel or they can't create it. So anyways, went through probably over a 1 to 2 year research study on everything to do with natural gas and compressed natural gas. And, we looked at the entire industry, the fleet industry, to see if there's any trucks in the US that anybody was converting. And there was very small factions, like, very small organizations that did have a similar type of vision that the US could be a really great place to adopt CNG for its, again, its heavier duty fleets. We found the conversion company, we found the truck company, Isuzu at that time. We found, a person that actually tested 1 or 2 trucks in Louisiana, and we found, the right station builders that were building CNG stations. And we really pieced it all together and figured out that, like, wait a minute, we can make this happen in the furniture industry while delivering, furniture. And so throughout that research study, we tested. We ended up getting everybody together and testing 5 trucks that turned out to be very, all the numbers looked good. Obviously the reduction in emissions, I think it was like 66% less emissions. So it was a win for the Department of Energy. Actually, we partnered with one of their sister baby organizations, and they were rooting us on, and, they helped us with, like, here's how you can get tax credits and support for your investment. Cause it was scary to make all these investments when nobody was really doing this at our type.
Yeah, you were pioneering this 10 years ago in this space, definitely in the furniture markets, right?
Absolutely. So after that 5 truck test, then the big investment was really the station. So we spent about $1.5 million on our station. And unfortunately, it was, a 12-month project, and we had to convert to about, over 12 months figuring out how to do this on site. And, but long story short, it worked out. We added 50 more trucks to the fleet, and I think we got our payback in literally a year and a half. And
wow, that fast, huh? So now it must be a lot of savings with where diesel sits today in the market versus what you're doing. You look like geniuses, right?
Yeah. If you remember 10 plus years ago, I forget what year exactly, but I think diesel, there was a major, political issue with foreign oil, and there might be still one today. I think it was a lot more heated though 10 plus years ago. So the tax credits were strong, you name it. But what I would want everybody to know is I think our cost per gallon was about 75% less than what diesel costs at that time. And even when diesel came down in prices, I think we were still 50% less cost per gallon equivalent to diesel. So, very fast payback. And but a lot of headaches along the way with our fleet team, a lot of challenging moments, a lot of, stations down, type of moments. So, but the team worked through it, and our partners worked through it. And now, we're 100% compressed natural gas for several years now. And I'm happy to say, I just found out about this yesterday. We won the 7th greenest fleet in the country.
Wow.
In the country. And we actually won the greenest fleet in the country in 2021. But, there's some good green competition there in the fleet space. But huge ROI when it comes to our fleet, but a lot of hard work too at the same time.
Yeah, you definitely had to work out some kinks, I'm sure, but that's with anything, right? In business that we see. So when it comes to the fleet right now, and I think I read in your report that you guys are basically 100% in all your facilities now with stations with the last one that you built.
Yeah,
and you were targeting to bring on 5 electric Tesla trucks. Are you looking to move more towards electric? Do you see that as a natural progression, or will CNG carry the way?
Yeah, I think it, depending on your truck, your needs, your miles, whatever your strategy is, I think there's a play for electric and there's a play for CNG. So, we're in the camp that, we're going to have a diversified mix of, the right equipment for the right, hauling fleet strategy. So we have 5 Tesla semis that'll haul, furniture from warehouse to warehouse. We think that could be very beneficial. We also have a lot of semis that are compressed natural gas. So we'll see where that goes. But when it comes, we have some electric yard spotters, the spotters that move the containers in the yard. And the 5 Tesla Cybertrucks that we've ordered are for our DC or our fleet maintenance crew that will go out to a site and, fix a flat tire or get a truck back on the road or maybe help a driver with an issue. We're going to have a mix of fleet, but our goal is obviously carbon neutrality. So we want to get to zero wherever we possibly can.
Excellent. Yeah. So you're purposely building the fleet out to meet the needs of the customer and the bottom line and also the green initiative, which is fantastic.
Yeah. Our delivery trucks are pretty heavy. So, it'll be interesting if their electric batteries can get to haul the weight and haul the distance for our size delivery trucks. They're big and bulky, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'm thinking off the top of my head when you're going through that, I was thinking inner city deliveries with electric is probably more feasible than the long haul where you got to ship these massive loads, heavy loads kind of thing. But there's definitely a fit as you said. So that's excellent. What would you say is the major next step? I mean, you guys, when I toured the facility, you're doing phenomenal when it comes to recycling. You're like you said, you're number 1 in fleet management just 2 years ago, number 7 in the country. Where do you envision continuing to eat away at that carbon footprint?
Yeah, so we made some big strides this past year with our FPL Solar Together program. So about 1/3 of our energy is coming from solar fields throughout Florida. So we're actively talking to FPL and, as we expand our business north, wanting to make sure that our energy is, coming from these solar fields. So, working with the energy partners to ensure that they're investing in the, building out their solar grids, so to speak, so that more and more of our energy can be, carved out from those fields.
Yeah, taken from that section. Yeah.
So that's one of the biggest things that come to my mind. We're going to continue to build green stores. We have the most leadership environmental energy and design stores, LEED certified stores in the state. I think we have them or in the country for home furnishings retailers. I think Energy Star certification, we're now number 1 in our industry. And so I think we're going to continue. Green buildings is still important. Getting energy from solar fields wherever we can. And then like we just talked about, we'll see where the fleet goes into a blended strategy of CNG, electric. You never know. And to be frank, we're also looking at hydrogen. We've been looking at hydrogen for over 12 years, and there's a lot of people believe that that's where some of this long distance hauling will end up. But
for the fleet, for the fleet side,
for the fleet side. So we're but we're going to continue to push. One of the big opportunities we got to do is more of our materiality assessments and really fully understand. When 2040 hits, I want to have the experts come in and say, you're right. You are carbon neutral. Like the math adds up, and this isn't greenwashing. This isn't, fake. This is a truly a company that we're willing to put our, stamp on, that is truly at carbon neutrality. So we got a lot of work to do on, data collection and to be prepared for that date. So those are some of the things. And one, if anybody's listening that can help me out there, we have a lot of cafes in our headquarters. We have 4 warehouses, and we want to figure out how to do composting. So anyways, we got a lot of work to do.
Well, it sounds like you already done a lot, and you got a clear vision on where you're going and how you're going to get there, which is fantastic. And it's great to hear that, it's in the mindset of, and the goal and the whole purpose is to truly be carbon neutral, and not just marketing around something with, kind of smoke and mirrors that, just buying a bunch of credits or something like that to offset, versus doing everything that you're doing, right? LED, Energy Star buildings, the recycling, the fleet, everything, to truly say, you know what, we really are doing our part. We're not just shifting it to somebody else, kind of thing.
Yeah, 100%.
So you're a little over 10 years into it. Any regrets on embracing the initiative?
No, none. It's absolutely fulfilling. One thing I haven't talked about that I think is important for people to hear, it's hard work. Don't get me wrong, especially when you're the trendsetter, or it's not fully baked in your industry or whatever application you're trying to apply it. So that can get scary, but I think there's a lot more examples of people going down this route. So I think there's a lot more tools. There's a lot more resources to help businesses go this route. But something I learned along the journey is how amazing this is, an attraction tool to find great talent for your business. So, I can't tell you how many interviews I do, and they know about our green strategy. They're here because of our green strategy, or they want to talk about it. They feel fulfilled, like, wow, I want to work for you, Andrew, because you guys are truly going after this and you're truly making progress. And, I don't want to work for a company for, 20 years or a company that doesn't care about this. So it's really helped me find a lot of people, and it's also helped me retain a lot of people. It's very obviously extremely hard to quantify, but, I just hear and feel the passion of a lot of people throughout our company, and people bragging to their friends. I'm at a happy hour, I can hear them brag to the prospect or whoever, their wife or husband, and that what we're doing in the green space, or they just want to talk about it, which means that they care about it. So
it's an intrinsic value that's across the organization, and something that you can all champion, right? And have that commonality. It's fantastic that you're seeing it go that deep in the organization from an HR standpoint.
And our marketing team's eating it up, so, it's great social media. It's great, different competitive advantage talking point. If you walk in our stores, you're going to see big signs of, our 2040 green promise. Our sales associates are going to talk about semis from Tesla. You're going to see digital displays of, the progress we're making in all aspects of our business. And now we're getting more and more into the product lineup. So, it's ingraining in our culture and who we are at Citi.
Yeah, I noticed that on the tour as well. And I talked a little bit about this on the front, but this would be a great time for you to go maybe a little deeper on it, is just what you're doing on the supply chain and the sourcing of materials and everything. It's phenomenal when your manager of that department was going through just what they do to ensure that the materials are coming from ethically sourced vendors. at the end of the day. So you're going far beyond your own thing. You're doing the whole supply chain, it seems, with introducing this into the marketplace.
Yeah, that's the goal. And you know, something that happens when you do this, like, so fleet really set the way. Maybe it was actually recycling. Our recycling department set the way. And then fleet here is like, oh, they're going green and they're making amazing progress. And now the stores want to build green stores and be the best in the industry. And I think our merchandising team for several years has been on this journey, but they're a few years behind the fleet. But they see the fleet team be number one in the country when it comes to this green strategy or get these great awards. They're like, well, wait, we're going to be the greenest product lineup in the country, and it just creates a lot of competition. So you're right. The merchandising team, our global sourcing team, our leader there is doing a phenomenal job. Really understanding the playbook to take our product line up to that is really hard, to go deep into your suppliers and to get proper data, to make sure that we're doing all the right things. And but I think they're just chipping away and making a lot more progress. And I actually thought they'd be a few years behind, and this past year they've actually really exceeded my expectations, and they're very confident they're on their way to build the greenest product lineup in the country for our type of business and in our industry. So we're real proud of them, and that's a lot of hard work on the supply chain. I mean, I think we have 140 plus vendors that have to have 140 plus vendors each. So that is not going to be
auditing that, right? And just kind of dotting the I's and crossing the T's, and then ultimately having a product that people want. And when we toured, the products looked fantastic. I mean, you walk by them and you can't tell that it's not the real thing. It's amazing how well these things are put together.
Yeah, our supply chain team is very passionate about this topic because, in supply chain, sometimes you get a bad rap of, causing, these emissions and pollution and stuff like that. So they're on it.
Good deal. So this is the last question, and we did our best here to keep it around this 20-minute mark. I think we could talk about this topic and go down so many different rabbit holes, but what would be your recommendation to other CEOs when it gets to them dipping their toes in, jumping 2 feet in? Like, what would you recommend they do or approach a sustainability program?
Yeah, I think number one is take the leap of faith that hey, we need to go in this direction. Don't be worried about cost. Don't be worried about not hitting the goals. And it's really not about that. It's really about taking a stand for your associates, your customers, your community, and saying, hey, we're going to problem solve to be a green organization. So I recommend have the public pledge, because I think what people care about is not hitting the 2040 green promise. It's like, Andrew, you guys are trying to hit the green promise. You guys are working on it. You guys are problem solving. You guys care. I think, setting that public pledge, taking that leap of faith and saying, okay, let's pick a project team. What makes sense right now? What business problem do we have that can be solved with, some of these green technologies or strategies that are out there? That's a win for the business, win for the community and environment, and win for the bottom line. They exist. And I think, start small. Don't go after a, enormous home run. It could be so small as like, the energy we use on our laptops in the office, or the recycling in the. It doesn't matter. It doesn't need to be Tesla semis or anything. I think people love the fact that you're just trying to make the earth a better place that we can all live in. And I would be shocked if people don't respect that CEO more, or respect the leadership team more, or want to work for that company a little bit harder. I'd be absolutely shocked. And I know the customers and obviously the community will feel the same way. So That's my.
Yeah, it sounds like there's definitely customer loyalty and employee value associated with it, both in them wanting to go to work and the output that they do. And just to echo what you said, when it comes to going down this path, there's several things. Then this is just a shameless plug, I guess, for us, but it's across the industry. Is that there's several things that can be done that don't take a lot of or any investment. Quite honestly, there's some things that don't require any investment to lower your electricity consumption, to lower your water usage, whatever it may be, that truly can improve the bottom line. So it doesn't have to be this or that. It can be, you know what, we can accomplish the number one thing in the bottom line, so to speak. But there's much more important things in life too, and it can be in balance, and it can be effective and profitable for companies to do it. And point in case, you guys are doing it, and you've been doing it for a while, and you can see it in what's out there with everything you're doing. Next year, you'll have your third Green Summit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And that, by the way, that's intended to do exactly what you just said, which is there's a million different ideas out there that I don't even know about, that, just hopefully we can, talk to each other and share ideas on how to go down this journey together and learn from each other. And like you said, I'm sure you've seen a million things I haven't seen that you can make my business better, and vice versa, so.
Yeah, it's the sharing of everything in business, right? On circumventing the problems because somebody's done it, whatever it may be. So with that said, Andrew, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day. I know you're a busy guy, and we appreciate you taking the time out to spread the message and the word that you can implement excellent sustainability programs, improve profitability, and there's other benefits that you mentioned as well with the employees and the customers. So
100%.
Thanks again for your time, and we'll be in touch soon. To everybody out there, if you want to get a hold of us, find out more, you can see my information on the screen, and we'd love to work with you. Thanks so much, Andrew.
Thanks, Sean.